Let's talk about earnest money deposit because I see too many beginner wholesalers get stuck on this topic and it hurts my heart every time I see it. So I want to try to get this straight for you right now. If you're somebody who's like, what do I do if the seller wants a deposit? Or do I have to pay the deposit? Or how much should I put down for the deposit? This is going to answer everything for you. Before we focus on what we should put down for the deposit, you need to make sure you understand how it works. Let's just say, for example, my deposit is $100 just for this example. The purchase price is irrelevant. We're not talking about purchase price. The purchase price can be $350, $200, I don't care, $500. We're talking about the deposit. If my contract says the deposit is $100 and I send that to the title company, well, pretty much right after that, the title company is going to be like, all right, where's the $100 then? The title company just needs the $100 to hold on to until the closing date or until the contract is canceled. So that means if you have a buyer ready to go, then have the buyer send the deposit to the title company. But if you don't have a buyer ready to go for this deal, then you give the title company the $100 to hold on to until you find a buyer who can come in and you get that $100 back with your assignment fee. And if you hear this and you're freaking out like, oh, I don't know if I can lose $100 or $1,000 or $500, whatever the deposit is, don't worry, because your contract should have what's called a contingency clause. I'm gonna scroll down to this part of my contract here, and you can see section 4 and 5 are the most important parts that show you that you're not on the hook for anything as long as you do this correctly. Now remember, in this purchase and sales agreement, when it says buyer, that's you, not your end buyer yet. It will be, but at the time of you signing this contract, purchase and sales, you're the buyer. So anytime you see buyer, you, okay? So buyer, in buyer's sole and absolute discretion, that's you, your sole discretion, may through written notice to seller, text them, email them, cancel this contract during the inspection period set forth in section 1.9. For example, my inspection period could be something like 14 days, okay? This is my inspection period in the contract. What this means is as long as 14 days haven't passed, you can cancel this agreement with the seller and you'll get your deposit back. So if the deposit was $100, $500, $1,000, it doesn't matter. If you cancel before the inspection period, you'll get that money back from the title company. But there's another part to this that's also very important. If your inspection period was 14 days and you let 15, 16 days go by, well, now you're technically liable to give that deposit to the seller and you're not getting that back. So it's pretty simple to keep up with. You just have to make sure that if your inspection period is 14 days, then don't let 14 days go by without canceling or finding a buyer. And then section 5 is even more confidence for you. It says instruction to release the deposit upon cancellation. Basically, this is saying that if and when you do cancel, then the escrow agent, whether it be the title company or title attorney, they are liable to give that deposit back to you, no questions asked. It says if buyer, that's you, elects to cancel this contract during the inspection period, then there are no further written instructions required for the escrow agent, that's the title company, to release the deposit back to the buyer, that's you. Bottom line is, no matter what the deposit amount is, you don't have to pay that at the end of the day if you cancel before the inspection period. But if you don't cancel before the inspection period, then you or someone else is going to have to cough up that deposit for the seller. And for those of you who wonder, well, how do I go about not doing a deposit with the seller? You can say something along the lines of, I'd be more than happy to ask my team if we can move forward with this deposit, but we found that when there's a deposit involved, it not only delays the process, but it also tends to limit the overall offer that we can give you for cash at the end of the day. If you have any more questions regarding contracts or wholesaling real estate in general, you are more than welcome to join our free to join 1% Discord server. You can ask us any questions you may have. We'll see you there. I hope this helps.